Good evening, boys and ghouls. You have tuned into the Killer Countdown, brought to you by Backlot 605. Each week, two horror fanatics rank the best that the horror genre has to offer. Grab your popcorn and your kitchen knife and get ready for the Killer Countdown.
Welcome to the Killer Countdown. I am your host tonight. My name is Blake Ginithan. Today I am joined by my regular host, Casey Kelderman.
Blake, that was Mr. Rogers like. I dig it.
Was it? Well, yeah.
I dig it.
We have some scary times right now, and I got to bring it down a little bit and be the welcoming voice into our troubled times. Today we're joined by a previous guest who was it the post 2000 remakes? Is that the show you're on, Matt?
That is correct.
All right, we got Matt Petty back. Matt, how are you?
Good. You guys?
Other than possibly facing the end of the known world, I'm doing pretty good.
Of course.
Yeah, I think we're all doing good. We're all quarantined in our homes, playing it safe here.
I went to some friends' houses over the past couple of days, but it was really funny, like watching everybody like not get close to each other. And I was only there for about 15, 20 minutes picking up some cookies and movies. But otherwise, I have not left my house. It sort of sucks, but it's what we have to do right now. So,
well, I did go out to a restaurant for my wife's birthday yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Were you the only ones there?
There was a few other people.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens in Sioux Falls. I think we're pretty lucky to be mostly isolated from the rest of the country in terms of population-wise. So we'll see what happens. So, but for those of you who don't know, on the safe side, we're all just at our homes and we're Skyping this right now. So if it doesn't sound as good as it usually does, that's why. But we're gonna do this. We're gonna power through this and get our countdown done. Today we're doing slashers with no remakes or no sequels. Who came up with this idea? This is a hell of an idea.
This was all Matt. Matt came up with this.
Matt, props to you. This is I never would have thought of something like this. This is a really cool idea, and one that I'm particularly excited not to be a part of because I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could do this one. Matt, how'd you come up with this idea?
Well, I was watching a slasher movie the other day that I couldn't find for a while, but I found on Tubi.
Okay.
And remembered, it was kind of exciting. And then I saw there weren't any other ones. And I was like, I wonder. And I just did a lot of research on other horror movies. And there's a lot of slashers out there, especially in the 80s, that just have one particular movie.
Yeah. I actually, I being a new dad now, it's kind of hard, like getting some stuff done. And I tried to do some research this morning I just Googled slashers with no remakes and all I got was like just slashers. So I got no specific, anything that I was looking for. And so this is going to be really interesting to see what you guys come up with because I was telling Casey just before we started recording that I have no idea what you guys are going to play, and I'm truly excited to hear you guys gush about your picks. Before we get into that, though, we need to talk about what we've watched recently. And boys, I want you to not talk about anything that you might play tonight. So any horror movies that you watched recently that are not in play tonight, feel free to go on. We'll start with Casey.
Can I start with, I want to say one thing. Matt, this idea is awesome. I'm so glad you picked it. I'm glad you and I are doing it because it allowed me to watch a bunch of movies that were on my watch list and weren't on my watch list just because this is such a niche topic, but it's also a very vast topic to look at because, like you said, there's a ton of movies from like the 80s, especially 70s, 80s for these slashers where yeah, they maybe got a standalone, and now all of a sudden, they all got remakes, or like the Friday the 13th, you get a ton of sequels. But in this case, like there's a ton of great standalone slashers. Like I'm glad we're gonna hopefully bring to light some of these that might not have been heard of or have been forgotten. But yeah, I have quite a few. I know
Yeah, I
there's
do.
one.
I do too. So let's not spend too much time talking about recent watches. But
I'll pick out the good ones then out of here.
yeah,
The first one out of. I'm
Casey,
sorry.
save the one you know you want to gush about for last, because then you and I can talk about that since we
Okay.
both watched it.
Okay. Well, I'll start with the recent one then, just because we should talk about it because it was my last horror watch. I watched Satanic Panic on Shudder. And yeah, this movie's about this pizza delivery girl. It just came out last year. And anyway, this pizza delivery girl is on her first day of the job, and she goes out to deliver pizza to this rich neighborhood. The guy doesn't tip, so she gets pissed off. She gets into the house to ask for a tip, and she finds out that they are actually a satanic cult, and they are looking for a virgin to sacrifice to resurrect this demon. And she is the virgin for them, and has to try to escape. Yeah, this movie just didn't do it for me.
Mm.
I wrote a review on Instagram for it, but there was something missing about it. Like it was well acted, it was well paced, it was breezy, 90-minute long horror movie, but there was just something missing about it. I can't quite put my finger onto what it was because it's a horror comedy, but it doesn't work fully as either a horror film or a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to like it because I was looking forward to watching this, but yeah, I don't know why it just didn't work for me, unfortunately.
I've heard good things, and that sucks to hear that you didn't like it. I will see this at some point, but I'm in no rush out to do so.
Yeah, I would still recommend it to people because it is a low budget or low budget horror film, and I think we still got to support those, and it's well made. It's not like it's
Yeah.
a bad movie at all. It just
Right.
didn't
Right.
work for me.
Yeah.
But one on here that really did, and I just loved, and it's a perfect movie to watch right now with what's going on in the world, is John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness.
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah,
Good one.
so you guys, Blake, you talked about this on the John Carpenter episode. I don't think it made the list, but it was definitely mentioned with you and Jake.
Yeah. Yep.
This movie rules. Like this movie's awesome.
It's very
Yep.
good.
I was lucky enough to see it in the theaters a couple years ago, and yeah, it played great.
Yeah, I love all the for me because I love obviously I love Stephen King movies, and Lovecraft movies are hard to nail, but I think this is definitely one of them that definitely nails the Lovecraftian tone, but also introduces many Stephen King elements, so it's a nice like combination between the both, and then you add the John Carpenter flair into it as well, so it's just kind of a fun combination of all three of those very creative, very different minds.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah. And I love that they make no allusion to like who they're kind of like referencing. Like his name is like Sutter Kane or something.
Sutter
Like
Kane, yeah.
it's so close to Stephen King. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to see this as a part of a triple feature with The Thing and Prince of Darkness, and it was a great time. Matt, you've seen this, right?
yes, I saw it a few months ago.
Yeah, I think like Shout Factory or somebody put it out recently, and
Yeah.
It's got a great disc, and I should pick it up. But,
Two more I have on here that are holiday themed because we've had two holidays to celebrate in the times since between the last couple of episodes. But we had a Friday the 13th, so of course you have to watch the obligatory Friday the 13th movie on Friday the 13th. So I went back and watched part 5, which I hadn't seen in a while. This is the one notoriously for not having Jason in the movie or as the killer. It's fine. It's nothing great. It's a very hard left turn from number 4 and number 6, which kind of are more of a combination between the two than this one. Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever.
I enjoy 5. It's one of my favorites, actually.
What is it about 5 that works for you, Matt?
I think because I even watched the Crystal Lake documentary they had on Shudder a while back as well, and I did kind of like the thought of they were trying to do it in a sense where it was they wanted to pass on the evil from Jason even though he wasn't there, which they kind of did in a supernatural term when they did Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
and I guess I enjoyed that it was just kind of a different formula to the other ones, and I really enjoyed the kills on this one.
It does. It does have really good kills.
Very creative kills. I think that's why I really enjoyed about it.
What didn't work for me is that there's implications that it's Tommy Jarvis is supposed to be the next evil, and they just don't do it in this one. They should have just done it.
Right.
But the other holiday one I watched was we had St. Patrick's Day, obviously, recently. So I watched the latest Leprechaun movie, Leprechaun Returns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It is a ton of fun. None of the Leprechaun movies are great. I think they're all on par with each other.
Oh yeah.
And this is no exception.
It's a pretty consistent series, yeah.
Yeah, this is no exception. This one's a ton of fun.
I'm glad you liked it. I saw your post and I was like, oh, good. I watched it with a friend and we were both just like, this is good. This is good. So we were pleasantly surprised with that one.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it aired on Sci-Fi Channel originally, right?
Right. I believe it did, yep.
And for a Sci-Fi Channel movie, this is pretty good and pretty good gore effects for that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I wonder if it was more of if Sci-Fi just picked it up, possibly, instead of, or is it a Sci-Fi movie? Do they say it is?
I believe it says it's a Sci-Fi movie before it starts.
Yeah.
Well,
and I'm trying to remember if the Leprechaun that WWE produced a few years before that was also a sci-fi movie. I think so.
I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah. I got two more, and one is, of course, one that Blake has also seen recently. I watched the original Wicker Man, which is on Netflix right now. So if you're sitting at home and need something to watch on Netflix, the original Wicker Man is on it. Yeah, this movie is... I watched it because I had recently watched Midsummer a few weeks ago, and it got a lot of comparisons to the original Wicker Man. This is nothing like Midsummer, and that's fine. I don't get the comparisons besides both are cult movies, but this movie is it's fantastic. It's great. The performances are really good. Christopher Lee just plays a great cult leader. And yeah, I love that there is so much the way it handles like religious intolerance and how people view other religions is really fascinating because it's not really picking a side. And I think that's an important thing to do when you make movies that try to have some sort of message to it, especially with a hot button issue like that. And I think it was obviously way ahead of its time for
72 or something.
Yeah, 72, 73, right in there. Yeah.
I haven't seen it in about 20 years, and I remember being pretty lukewarm to it. Besides the last 15 to 20 minutes, I thought were pretty good. But I also saw a lot of movies when I was really young, and I was kind of like, oh, I don't get the hype, and I don't think my movie brain was quite evolved yet. So I definitely need to give it another shot.
Yeah, and then my last one we can talk about when Blake gets to his. But
okay,
yeah.
Matt, what have you watched recently that is not involved in today's game?
I did sit down and watch. Let's see, because I haven't seen a lot of horror ones because I've been watching a lot of the Oscar contenders. Finally, I did sit down and finally get to watch the remake of Rabbit.
Okay.
That they actually did a review on Letterboxd for it. Yeah, it was pretty good. It's definitely different than Cronenberg's reiteration or his original one that he did.
Mm-hmm.
It did a good job in trying to make it their own, and I think you could easily enjoy either one. And by the end, you can definitely tell that they really enjoyed those, like the decade of those horrors, like Cronenberg's or even stuff from Yuzuna as well, especially at the end. They really put that in there as well, and you definitely know that they're fans of horror and that because this is their third movie, I think.
The Soska sisters.
Yeah, because they did American Mary, I See Evil 2, and then this one, I believe.
Yeah, I think Corey is a big fan of this one too.
Yeah. Can I
There's a lot-
piggyback? Can I piggyback off one thing really quick off Rabbit?
Of course.
I just watched the Soska Sisters See No Evil 2, which is far and away better than the first one. It's really good. I'm excited to watch Rabbit now because I like their work, and I've heard good things from both Matt and Corey was a fan too.
And like I said, it's very
Yeah.
artistic, very art housey.
Really?
Yeah, so they do a good job. I was mentioning in the review, so they focus on a lot of the color red,
Okay.
and which is kind of what they're trying to do at the beginning. They have she walks in, she's a little late to a meeting, and the fashion designer is actually talking about why we do remakes of anything, and how to do remakes. It's better to put your own iteration into it, or life or soul. What they do. After halfway through the movie, it's clear that they must be In This Moment fans, because there's even just a little short dream scene that I was like, this could just be pulled out from In This Moment music video.
That's all right with me.
Yeah. And they do a good job of actually developing the character, because in the original they didn't develop the character too much. And I think that's what they're trying to do, trying to bring more life into it, is trying to get at least a little more of a story towards it.
All right. Anything else did you watch?
I watched the first and second Candyman movie, or the other two.
Oh, hell yeah.
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 I still have not seen the second and third one, so I need to do that.
I haven't seen the third
Matt, did you like the second one?
one. It wasn't bad. It was just kind of the same formula as the first one.
Yeah.
A little bit. But I would probably say that.
Yeah, it's definitely not as good as the first one, but I think it's a very good sequel, especially since no one talks about it.
Right.
I've not seen the third one either. I've heard it's terrible.
Yeah, I heard it's terrible, so I haven't watched it, but probably should.
I'll watch it before the remake. Sequel,
sequel.
whatever it is. Yeah.
All right.
Blake, it's up to you. You are
All right.
It's off for us.
I will go quickly through mine since I am that important today.
Blake, you're always important.
I watched. Let's see here. I'm going to start with like the ones that were kind of like meh to me. 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. The sequel to the first one. I liked it a lot more than the first one. Felt like they could have made the movie 45 minutes and could have gotten everything they needed to done. So I enjoyed it. Ouija Origin of Evil, which is the prequel sequel that Mike Flanagan did. Yeah, it's fine. I'm still kind of waiting for Mike Flanagan to blow me away with something other than his TV series. I do love the fact that he keeps getting this same set of actors to follow him and just give him incredible real life performances that ground his reality or his movies in reality and give them emotional weight. I watched Girl on the Third Floor, which is oh god, I saw it on Netflix. There's a wrestler in it.
CM Punk, who was also in Rabbit.
He was okay. He wasn't particularly good, I didn't think.
Yeah.
I could tell you could like tell he's acting, like it felt a little forced. But that's fine. Like I know a lot of wrestlers could go on to be good actors, so I'm okay giving him a pass on it. I thought that was just really, really good. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I love how the idea of the house became like this allegory for men who try to suppress not only their feelings but like the bad deeds they do. I really enjoyed that aspect of the film. I watched Pet Sematary 2, which is not very good. It's better than the first one. The last 30 minutes are the best part, where stuff starts going down. Like a guy gets a guy puts a motorcycle wheel on this kid not a man, he's a kid on this kid's face, and he rips his face off. I thought that was pretty cool. I watched last night. I did a double feature of Fright Night and Fright Night 2. Man, these movies back to back are incredible. Fright Night, I've seen it before. It's very good. Chris Sarandon for me is like Academy Award level good sleazy in this. Fright Night 2 is even better, I thought. It's maybe not as successful as the first Fright Night, but it attempts to do different things, and I really appreciated them trying to do something different in an era of like sleazy, sleazy like horror movies. And I even though it doesn't fully pull its chances off, I'm glad it took them. And then the one that Casey and I both watched, I think I watched it and was just like had a hard on watching it. I think you watched it right after I did, maybe the same day. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was pretty close to each other.
Was Bram Stoker's Dracula, which like you surprisingly you liked it more than I did. I had seen it before. I found the middle of it to be a little slow, but man, the opening 30 minutes and the closing 30 minutes are just balls to the wall bonkers in terms of like special effects, which are all done in camera. The production design is insane. The cinematography, the score, like this movie is firing on all cylinders. And man, what a ride! I just got a 4K Blu-ray player, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick this up to watch in 4K because I just want to just be engulfed by everything this movie throws at you.
Yeah, this was my first time watching it because I think you and I had talked about it on a previous episode or something. We mentioned it at some point, and then when I did the Universal Monsters episode, Dominic, who was on that, was like, "You need to watch this movie ASAP." And so now, yes, I finally did. This movie, like, is just it's one of those movies that just Hollywood just does not make anymore. Like everything you said is correct. All the set design, the costuming, the special effects, like everything about it just works and is firing at 100% throughout this movie. Even Keanu Reeves is trying his hardest to do this accent, and it's so
he's so out of his element in this movie.
It doesn't work, but he himself is so charming while trying to do it. You're like, I'm with it. I'm going with it. Like it just works so well in this movie. Like when people are just trying to give an accent and they're just doing a really bad job at it, but Keanu he's trying so hard and he's so earnest about it. I think that comes through on camera as well. My favorite scene is the dinner scene between him and Gary Oldman's Dracula, where the shadow is not matching where he is on the screen. Oh, it's so good.
I love stuff like that. My favorite scene of the movie is when Sadie Frost's character ends up passing away, and they're having the funeral, and like Anthony Hopkins wants her head so badly that he's asking them during the funeral if he can have her open the casket and take her head. I thought that was so funny, and it just speaks to how well Coppola handles tonal shifts in the movie. But
yeah. I love this movie. I'll probably rewatch it again here in the next month or so, because I told my fiance Kayla, like, you need to watch. Like, she loves Keanu Reeves and she loves Dracula, and she had never seen this either. So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna rewatch this really soon, and it's definitely gonna be one of those watches every couple of years for sure.
Yeah, it's a solid movie. Matt, have you seen this?
Yes, I have. I need to rewatch it. For sure.
Yeah, it's a little slow. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
Because I've always wanted to see, I just never got to it. And of course, with Gary Oldman, what can you go wrong?
Gary Oldman is incredible in this movie. Like he's like he's hamming it up, but it's not like he's poking fun at the material. Like it just feels like he's amped his character up to match the movie in a way. And
I mean, he's a huge thespian, though. I mean, even if you've seen him in like True Romance, I mean, come on.
Right, or even The Professional.
Yeah. Or playing, a Southern corporate person in Fifth Element. I mean.
Yeah, wow. That's such a bizarre character.
Right.
Yeah, wow. I feel like I could go on forever about Bram Stoker's Dracula, but I'm thinking we should finally do this, boys.
Let's do it.
Right.
I
All right.
do want to mention one thing. Especially with a lot of the 80s slasher movies, I think another reason why most of them don't come across as like making any more or kind of more known to people is because of Friday the 13th. I think once that came out, there was just a whole bunch that kind of came through and were trying to do the same formula and
Yeah.
doing
I think there was.
There's
I think
a
there
lot
was. Yeah. There was definitely previous slashers, but I think Friday the 13th kind of like made the money that showed studios or producers that they could do the same thing.
Was that 81?
That's 80.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. The first one was 80. Yep.
80,
Yeah.
and then 81's when they actually got a huge just explosion of these
Yep.
kind of class.
Yep.
Can I ask one question before we get into the rules and everything?
Yeah.
Just so this kind of goes into that. So we do want to differentiate between slashers and giallo films, correct? Because I think they are different subgenres of horror.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I throw out an example? Can I throw out a quick example?
I think too. I think like I would even say that giallos are not even technically horror movies in a way. So
Yeah.
I would say that they're not playable personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your example, Casey?
My example is Deep Red or Tenebrae. Those are obviously giallo films, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay. That's I just wanted to have that out there. And then my other question is: Home Invasion the same as a slasher film, or is that a different type of horror film?
Matt, what do you think? You're playing.
Yeah.
Slashers are a little bit different. I think there's a slight more of a mystery to them. I probably wouldn't.
I'll give an example since this does have a sequel now. Like The Strangers. Is that a slasher? That's a home invasion film, obviously, but could it also be a slasher film?
I guess I don't remember.
I mean, I guess it could be, but I would say, I don't know. Like for me, a slasher is almost, like Strangers is almost like a one setting horror movie, more so than a slasher where
it's a stalk and slash movie.
Yeah.
I can give. I'll give them in when we get to honorable mentions at the end of the show. I'll throw out my ones that I was thinking of. Then
you'll talk about Tenebrae more.
yeah, we'll gush about Tenebrae again.
Yeah. So I would say that home invasion movies do not count.
All right, that works for me.
All right. Can I read the rules?
Let's do it. Sorry. I just had to get those two questions out there quick.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So we're creating a top 8 list today. Normally you guys would hand me cards with your picks and then I'd read them off for the audience. But today I'm going to have you guys message me your answers and then I will read them. And you'll each have a veto. And with a veto, you guys can just speak up and say, hey, I'm going to veto this. You can veto a movie if you don't want it on the list. You can veto a movie if you want it higher. It does not make a difference to me if you want to reveal why you're doing it. You're certainly welcome to, and I encourage it actually. So we're creating a top 8. We're going to alternate spots. I'm going to read a trivia question, and the first person to get it right, in this case, it's going to be the person who gets closest to the right answer. You will get to choose if you want spots 8, 6, 4, and 2, or 7, 5, 3, and 1. I had to think about that actually. I almost got it wrong. Does everything make sense? Did I miss anything with that?
I think that worked.
Yeah, I think you got it all.
Are you guys ready for the question?
I think so.
Ready to go.
You guys both get to answer, so don't feel like you have to blurt it out or anything. Okay. In the Friday the 13th franchise, how many people does Jason Voorhees kill?
And is it closest? Are we playing prices right? Closest without going over?
closest.
115.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm gonna say about 140.
140 is your answer?
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Ugh.
Okay, so the answer is 146 people.
Whoa.
Yeah. Great job, Matt. All right. Matt, do you want to go first and have spots 8, 6, 4, and 2, or do you want to go second and have the number 1 spot?
Oh boy. Let's just do up to number 2 since I did up to number 1 last time.
You want to go first?
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet. I wanted the number 1.
Of course you did. Of course you did. All
Matt,
right.
Before we start, can I ask Matt one question then?
Yeah.
Do you have a definitive number 1 on this list?
I kind of have 2.
Oh, well, all right.
All right. Because I have a definitive number 1. That's why I'm glad I have that spot.
Yeah. No, I'll give it to you this time since I got up to number 1 and my last number 1 didn't turn out so well. So
Blew up the list on that one.
we kind of disagree. I think that really made Casey and I I don't know how to react to that one. That was perfect.
I did a little research on it too. There's actually a lot of people out there that think that's number 1.
Really?
Yeah, like I had to look. I was like, did I make a mistake or not? But
no, you didn't make a mistake. It's your choice. We just weren't expecting it, especially me.
It was a ballsy move, and I applaud you for playing it.
Me too. All right, Matt, whenever you are ready, you can send me your pick, and I will rate it, and then I'll let you explain your choice.
All right. 1 second here.
Yeah, I'm excited to do this, and if you didn't catch what we were talking about, go back and listen to our post-2000s horror remakes to figure out what we were talking about with that applaud-worthy number 1 pick and that countdown.
So the 3 dots have appeared in Matt's message box. Okay. I have an answer. At number 8 on the best slashers with no remakes or sequels, and Matt, this makes me super happy. Matt has chosen Madman.
Madman Mars. An old camping urban legend. So this is where it kind of also falls into that kind of already been done before. It came out actually a year after Friday the 13th, so 1981. It's about a whole bunch of camp counselors. They pretty much at the beginning get tell his campfire about this Madman Mars who killed his family, if I remember correctly, and you're supposed to chant his name into the woods. Well, one of the counselors doesn't take this as, or takes it more of a joke, and he does it and summons Madman Mars to kill them all.
I like this at number 8. I think this is a very good spot for it.
And I think it's because it's obviously after watching Friday the 13th and kind of seeing it, that was pretty much the same. It was just being stalked. I think the kills is what did it for me. I know there's one in particular where someone gets hanged, and I like how it actually just sits there for a while instead of cuts away, like a lot of other ones do, or other horror movies actually get censored that way. So I just kind of like how the kills were in this one for the most part. That's why it's so low on the list.
Yeah, I think for people listening, if you like the Friday the 13th series or if you like the Hatchet series, this is right up that same alley. I'm a sucker for like campfire urban legend type of story movie, so the opening of this movie is right up my alley. It's one of the best Friday the 13th sequels for sure. It's right on par with that tone. Blake, you really like this one a lot.
He said his microphone went out.
Oh no, Blake. All right, we'll let him figure that out. But yeah, I think that's a good pick. That's a good spot to have it. Right right there at number 8, with Madman taking over.
When I did this list, I definitely focused a lot more on the kills than anything, because I definitely didn't focus too much on the acting.
Yeah, I think that's just something you probably don't need to focus on in these
Exactly.
movies at all, is the acting.
Exactly.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
now
hear you, Blake.
All right, cool. Yes.
He's
I don't know what
back.
happened. Skype dropped my mic. Anyways, yeah, I'm super happy with this pick. I remember texting Casey right away, like when I finished it, I was like, this movie rules. I think this was actually filmed like the same time as the first Friday the 13th, but it wasn't released till after.
And I think there's a lot out there that are like that, though.
Right. And I think it's infinitely better than the first Friday the 13th, but that is just my opinion. Yeah, I really like this pick. Matt, when I saw your 3 bubbles fill in, I was like, hell yes. So I applaud this choice.
Thank
Casey,
you.
are you ready?
All right, I'm ready. I will
right.
send you mine here.
Um,
All right, so that's a lock then at number 8, Madman.
All right. Number 7. Casey has played Bloody Birthday.
So we're gonna stick in that same year, 1981. So this is about 3 kids that are born during the eclipse of the sun, which really has nothing to do with anything. And then 10 years later, on their birthday, they begin a murder spree around town, killing off people in their neighborhood, including family members. And the whole time they are trying to blame it on one of their friends' older sister, who is trying to convince the people of this town that this group of 10-year-olds is the ones that are running around rampant during this murder spree. So what sets this apart, obviously, is that it's not a middle-aged man in a mask or a deformed person out in the woods chasing these people. It's 3 10-year-old kids running around town killing people. What really works for this is the fact that it's 3 kids, and they're all just a little bit demented. Obviously, the kills in this are a lot of fun. There's a great suspenseful sequence where they drill a peephole through one of their closet bedrooms that can see into the sister's bedroom, so they can watch her, undress. Obviously, because we got to have that TNA in our slasher movies. And then there is a sequence where they take a bow and arrow and shoot the arrow through that peephole. Yeah, this movie's it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching this one. And I'm sorry, Matt, go ahead.
I definitely need to see it. I was a little hesitant about it, but
yeah, it's a ton of fun. There's a great sequence where one of the kids looks like he has poisoned the birthday cake at their birthday party, and then tries to blame it on the sister that is trying to convince the town that these kids are doing the murders. So, yeah, Bloody Birthday. That's my pick for number 7 here.
Yeah, good choice. I haven't seen this for about 10 or 15 years, but I remember having a lot of fun with it. Anytime a movie can sort of bend the genre tropes and still get some good stuff in, I'm all in for it. So, Bloody Birthday at number 7. Sorry for the delay. I'm writing this stuff down as I talk. Matt, are you ready with your number 6 pick?
I think so. Number 6? Yeah.
Number 6. What do you think you want to play?
Right.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I think we're gonna have a good mixture of the traditional. Like, I would say, Madman is a pretty traditional slasher villain, and then you get Bloody Birthday with a bunch of kids. I think we're gonna have a good mixture in this list.
Is that a hint at what's to come, Casey?
We'll see.
Okay. All right. So the 3 dots have popped up, and I'm waiting for Matt's response, which just came through. Number 6. We're sticking with blood. Matt has played Blood Rage. Matt. The floor is yours.
All right. Blood Rage was made in 1987. It's about actually. It starts off with two identical twin brothers at a drive-through. One of them kills somebody in another car and puts the blame on their brother, and their brother gets sent away to a mental institution for 10 years. And then, as the killer still is roaming free, after his 10 years, the brother escapes the institute, and his older brother, or his not, they're twins, starts going on a blood rage. So this triggers him off. And his brother's coming out to pretty much say who's actually did it.
I have not seen this yet, so
It's a Thanksgiving film actually. So if you want to watch it during Thanksgiving, it'd be a great
I see
idea.
that.
The kills are great. There's a one thing that I always watch for when I watch some of these slasher movies is when they do decapitations. I always like to see how good or how terrible the head looks.
Sure.
And in this one, the head looks phenomenal.
Oh,
And
that's
so
good.
I especially love the effects in this. I love the cheesiness of it, and the ending is great.
All right, Casey,
Really?
I know you like this one, right?
Guys, this is not cranberry sauce.
Yes.
Blood Rage, Blood Rage rules. I watched this on Thanksgiving for the first time this past year. Yeah, this movie's a ton of fun. Like, the guy who plays Todd and Terry, Mark Soper, he is hamming it up. He's having a ton of fun playing both of these characters. Like the way to do a great slasher is to have a great opening, and this has a really great opening setting up the slasher going forward at the drive-in theater where it shows both of the twins, and one of them, they both sneak out, and then one of them takes a hatchet to someone else in the lot, and you see blood like splatter on the popcorn and everything, and he wipes all his blood on his brother to blame it on him. It's a ton of fun. Blood Rage, it's a formulaic slasher, but it works in all those ways and has really fun one-liners, including I think they say it at least 2 or 3 times. This isn't cranberry sauce.
It says it 3 times at one time it says it, and yeah. And I think the aftermath of the first kill looks amazing.
Yes.
As well. Because even if you watch with the short cuts, you can definitely tell that they definitely focused on. Because I know sometimes in that aspect, you get some where the cut marks aren't necessarily in the right spot either. So at least they had attention to detail on where they were hitting with the axe, even with the cutaway scenes, showing the aftermath afterwards.
Very cool. Casey, are you allowing this at number 6?
Yeah, I'm allowing this. Blood Rage at 6.
All
That's
right.
that's a great spot.
All right.
Going well so far.
Yeah, I'm expecting the top 3 to be a little shifty, but we will see. Blood Rage oh, go ahead, Casey.
I'm already a little shifty. I don't know. I want to, because there's a couple I want to, fun ones here that I want towards the bottom half, but then there is some that I think are deemed classics that we got to have towards the top too.
Well,
and if they don't make the list, that sucks.
Yeah, if they don't make the list, that's on you, I guess. So
it's on.
It's on Casey specifically. Okay,
me specifically.
Blood Rage at number 6. Casey, are you ready with the number 5 pick?
Yes, I'm going to send it to you right now.
I was just looking at this one in the more like this section of IMDb. At number 5, Casey is playing The Mutilator.
That's where I was going to have it if I had 5.
Wow.
Hell yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. The Mutilator, a.k.a. Fall Break, which is a fantastic song. I love the use of cheesy 80s songs in their slasher movies. This has a great one. New Year's Evil also has a great one. But yeah, the Mutilator, a teen, he gets a call from his dad that he has not seen in a very long time. he finds himself getting called back to his dad's beach home to help him kind of clean it up and get it ready for the winter. So he and his group of friends obviously go there to help clean up and party on the beach. Why not? What I love, first of all, is the tagline for this movie: by by sword, by pick, by axe, bye bye.
Yes, I love that one. I love that.
And it uses it. I mean, I don't think there's a sword in this, if I remember correctly, but all the other ones are still there. They do use a. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's a mass array of weapons that are used in this, and I think this is what makes it great.
Yes, there is a ton of weapons that make it stand out. The gore effects are a lot of fun. Again, I talk about with Blood Rage is the opening. This one has a really great opening where our main character accidentally kills his mom, and that's why there's a distance between him and his father. Yeah, Mutilator is a ton of fun. Like Matt said, they use every weapon in the book. The tagline obviously says that as well, and the Mutilator is one of the most fun slasher movies. It is definitely formulaic, but that's this genre, and yeah, we have to live with it, and we love it.
Yes.
I'm so glad to hear you guys gush about this because I've wanted to watch it, but I've also heard that it's very boring. And so to hear you guys say it's a lot of fun and that it's worth my time, I'm definitely going to move this up on my watch list. And it's on Prime, so I can watch it anytime I want to now. So
it is also on Shudder as well.
Oh yeah, we gotta always plug Shudder.
Gotta plug Shudder; it's the best.
Anything else anybody wants to add to thoughts on the Mutilator?
What's your favorite weapon, Casey, in this movie?
There is a lot. Like I don't know. There's a ton that they use in this. I think the Mutilator hook is a classic one for this. But yeah, they use a ton of weapons. I don't know. That's why I like this because I'm pretty I don't know if they use the same weapon more than once to kill off the teens.
Nope, and they show them all off at the beginning of the movie, pretty much.
Yeah. And the one thing I love about this is the ending, and this is really no spoiler. Well, I don't want to spoil who the killer is, but the way they reveal the killer is really cheesy, but it's a ton of fun.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. At number 5, I'm guessing it's going to stay the Mutilator.
Going on a fall break.
Matt, are you ready with your number 4 pick?
Let's see here. It should be. Hold on. All right. Oh, God.
I'm really happy with this list so far because the two that Matt have played and I think the two that I have also played, I think we're both in contention for both of us.
All right.
Yeah,
that's cool. It seems pretty copacetic so far.
That might change when we get to the top 4 here, but
yeah, I hope there's a wrench thrown into this. By sword, by pick, by axe, by wrench. All right. Interesting choice. All right. Okay. I can't wait to hear Casey's thoughts on this. At number 4, Matt Petty in the best slashers with no remakes or sequels countdown is playing Chopping Mall. Matt, let's hear your thoughts.
It's just a whole lot of fun. It's teenagers partying in a closed mall while they're being hunted down by security robots. It's definitely a turn in the slashers. I don't think there's a lot of robot killer movies out there. There's a few, but
there definitely is not a lot, and there's definitely none like this one. Yeah. Question to you, and I'm not questioning the is this a slasher movie?
I guess do you consider it a slasher movie?
Okay, so I came across this one too. As far as slasher, so we would have to set up the parameters of what a slasher movie is. We've never set up that a slasher movie has to be a human, first of all, so that's all right.
Correct. And I'm not saying it isn't. I think it is. I'm just curious if the group thinks this is a slasher movie. That's all.
Yeah, no, they're still being hunted one by one.
Sure.
It's still got all.
Yeah. It's definitely an out of the box choice.
Yeah,
and it's another one with a great one-liner. Have a nice day.
Also a great tagline.
It's kind of just throughout the movie, and then the last time you say it, you're like, woo! You're definitely cheering on the teens in this one instead of the other way around, kind of where you're like wondering how they're going to die too.
That's true.
I think you're a little more invested in the characters that way.
Casey, what are your thoughts on this?
I was not planning on playing this, but now that anytime we bring up the greatest movie ever made, I'm going to applaud it because Chopping Mall is the greatest movie ever made. I love Chopping Mall. I think I've mentioned this before. I've seen it I just watched it for the first time last year. I've seen it 3 times since then. I love this movie. It's such an easy watch, such a fun watch. Has great character actors in this, including Dick Miller. Of course, some great final girls as well, including Barbara Crampton and Kelly Baroni. So that's always great to see them, and a lot of them, if you know what I mean, in this movie. Yeah, I love Chopping Mall. It's so much fun. This is just pure enjoyment on every level as far as a horror movie goes from the 80s.
I too love Chopping Mall. I just want to do a quick shout out to Paul Bartel and Mary Warnoff, who are two of the finest actors in the genre that we've ever had. And they have a small cameo in this. I love how the robots become evil. I love the kills. I love that there's gratuitous nudity in it. For me, it's definitely a slasher movie. It plays a little outside the bounds if you want to get specific about it. But I love this is an inspired choice, and I'm pretty happy it's here if it stays here. So, yeah, very cool.
Yeah, this movie it's staying here. Like I was on the fence of playing it, but now that Matt's played it, I think that fully embraces that it's definitely staying on this list here. And at number 4, I think that's a good spot for it. I love at the end of the film they do the freeze frame and then show the actor's title card. I love that the woman who gets her head blown off gets that as the image that they use from the movie. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah.
I feel like this list is building up to maybe being the best list that's ever been put together on this show.
I think that's true.
This is quite, and I haven't seen 2 of them, but I've heard really great things about them. So, man, Chopping Mall at number 4. I did not expect this to get played. This makes me very, very happy.
Also, can we get a sequel to Chopping Mall? Let's just do it.
If we do, we gotta take it off the list at some point. So I don't know. Okay.
Let's do this.
Casey, are you ready with your number 3 pick?
All right, I better send it to you then.
Yeah, because we got to keep this train rolling here. I'm going to see if someone pumps the brakes on it. All right. I kind of figured...
Is that a train, a hint at what we might
No, actually it was not. But I sort of saw this pick coming. All right. At number 3, Casey Kelderman of Sioux Falls, South Dakota is playing Alice, Sweet Alice.
Alice, Sweet Alice, aka Communion. This is pre-slasher boom. This is one of those movies that I heard about for a very, very long time. When I really started getting into slashers, there was one name that I kind of looked towards to say, if this guy likes it, I should go back and watch it. And that is a guy by the name of Eli Roth. He always spoke very highly of Communion. He always referred to it as that. So, this is set in the 60s. And it is about this adolescent girl who is suspect of killing her younger sister during church communion at the Catholic Church, and a series of murders take place after that. And the mother and members of the church also become suspected that this young girl has also taken part in killing these other people in the film. And what really works for me, and I talked about this during The Wicker Man, is there is the way they use religion in this movie, because I think there's a lot of things that this movie is saying in it throughout the film, especially when you're even what communion is, or even further, it goes through what puberty is, or how you view other people's beliefs, and how you view your own beliefs, and how you view the church. Unlike many other slasher movies, it has a lot to say. I think that's why this one stands out amongst the rest. It also does have a lot of fun kills. It does the formulaic stalker wearing a mask and killing people with a knife, but this was kind of before that formula, so it really works here. The fat landlord grosses me out. This entire movie grosses me out, and I think that was the point. And I think it's not a fun watch. It's definitely not a fun watch compared to, I think, everything else that we've had on the list so far is a lot of fun to watch. But this one is just not. It pulls no punches, and it throws everything out on the screen in its hour and like 40-minute runtime.
Matt, have you seen this?
I have not.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It takes a little bit to get going, but once it does, it's a solid slasher.
Is that on Shudder?
I do not believe this was. I watched it on Tubi. When I watched it, yeah.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely like, after I watched it, I'm like, I just feel gross. I think I need a shower right now. Maybe I need to go to church. I don't know. But yeah, it hits all the right things that it's trying to say in this movie. It like I said, it doesn't pull any punches. There's a sequence towards the end during another communion session that I had my mouth agape and gasped at, and that's hard to do during a slasher movie for me, but this one definitely had that.
All right. Alice, Sweet Alice at number 3. Matt, are you ready with number 2?
I am.
All right. Send that ship my way.
Let's see here.
Here we are. Last two. We both have a stab left as well. Are we going to not use a stab during the slasher episode? That would be ironic.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I'd be disappointed if someone didn't stab one another in this during this episode. My nerves are killing me right now.
Here is the movie that I decided to do this list on.
Ooh,
okay.
All right.
It was just great all the way through. Just great.
All right. Matt has sent me his pick. At number 2, Matt has picked The Burning. Matt, what are your thoughts on The Burning?
It's great. It was made in 1981, so a year after Friday the 13th, but it was also written around the same time as well. It's another camp movie. There's some camp goers who they decide to pull a prank on the caretaker of the camp, and it goes horribly wrong, and it pretty much burns him to the third degree, and he comes back. I think it's a year later, if I remember correctly, to exact revenge. There's some first timers in this one that you might recognize. Fisher Stevens, Holly Hunter has a small role, and also his first movie ever, Jason Alexander.
I was wondering if this was the George Costanza slasher. Okay.
Yes.
Very cool.
And it's funny looking at him because I can't remember the actor's name, but in that he looks like it was Pam's ex-fiance from The Office. So he kind of looks like.
Looks like Roy.
Yeah, he looks like Roy in this one. Kind of, I could someone say he's actually the one that gets the goods into the camp. So it's kind of the smooth talk and I'll get you the dirty magazines you all want. You just got to pay me. I'll give them to you.
Casey, have you seen this? Oh, sorry, Matt.
There is a scene in there that was actually a reason why this movie was put on the video nasties list, and that was there was a raft scene in this one. Because what happens is the group of the campers actually go on like a canoeing trip, and this guy pretty much stalks them, and they lose their canoes, so they have to build a makeshift raft. So they try to send some of the kids back to the camp. What's great about this one is just the killer setups, just everything. Just the killer's very smart, very not necessarily super. Oh, he is super relentless, but also to the point where he actually hides in one of the canoes that they find on the river, and he comes out of the canoe with a kit with garden shears, his weapon of choice.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kills like 4 or 5 students. And so that's another thing with the killer setup is he actually sets up where he sends the raft back to the people that are waiting for them as well.
Oh.
So he's very smart on setting it up and just messing with everybody's mind. And it took me about halfway through the movie to figure out the twist at the end, and it's a pretty good twist.
Very cool. I've seen this, but it's probably been about 20 years, so I don't remember too much about it. I definitely need to see this. Do any of you guys know who wrote the original story for this?
I was just gonna say this is an early Weinstein movie. Ugh.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Way to go, Matt.
That's probably one of the scariest things about the movie.
Yeah. Very cool. Casey, have you seen this?
So when I was going through a bunch of these, Burning was one of them where I was like, I need to find this, and it's right now for me it was hard to find. It has been on my watch list forever. I know that raft scene that Matt obviously has mentioned. It's the iconic scene from this movie. I'm glad we get a Tom Savini movie on the list because I think that is a must when you're talking slasher movies. He is the king of gore effects, and having a Savini movie on the list is a necessity. And yeah, I'm glad it's on the list. I'm excited to watch it. I have not seen it before.
Yeah, I found it on Tubi. Or I did find it on Tubi. Now I had to go find it elsewhere, but
all right. Burning at number 2. All right.
That pick actually made me a little happier about the list that we have because it gets us our Tom Savini fix that I was worried was not going to make it to the list.
Oh yeah,
And before I can even ask for it, Casey has sent me his pick, which I guess I really shouldn't be surprised about.
I probably didn't even need to send it to you.
I think you did because I did forget about it. I just reading it, I'm like, oh, of course. Should I just go through the list one more time before I read everything off? Read the number 1. Okay, so at number 8, Matt played Madman. At number 7, Casey played Bloody Birthday. At number 6, we have Blood Rage. At number 5, we have The Mutilator. Number 4, we have Chopping Mall. Number 3 is Alice, Sweet Alice. At number 2, we have The Burning. And in the number 1 spot for the Killer Countdown, Best Slashers with no remakes or sequels, Casey is playing Pieces.
Yes. Okay. Perfect.
Pieces, 1982, the definitive slasher with no remake or sequel, in my opinion. One of my favorite slashers of all time. Period. It's about this. So the movie starts off with this kid making a puzzle, and his mother begins to yell at him because it is a very graphic puzzle that he's putting together. He then takes an axe to his mom and kills her and severs the pieces of her body. Years later, we cut to a college campus where a serial killer is now on the loose, killing off young teens and taking their body parts to make a human puzzle. So that is the setup for this movie. Yeah, like I said, a great opening is essential for a slasher movie. This has my favorite slasher opening, probably of all time out of any slasher. People talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that use of the chainsaw. This has the better use of the chainsaw, in my opinion. So many great kills using that. Yeah, there's great special effects, great gore effects in this. Great use of the chainsaw. There's a little character development here and there. It's a pretty good mystery film as well as a whodunit, who's the killer. There's many times you're set up to believe it's one person and then it's not. It's revealed not to be. Yeah, Pieces is just one of those films that I'll go back and rewatch every couple of years. And yeah, it's just a fantastic slasher. It has everything that you would want in it. Has the mystery, has the great setup, has the great kills. It is a perfect slasher movie.
Yes. I have to agree. I can't argue about this one. It's definitely another one that Eli Roth said he's taken inspiration from as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is again. I brought it up when I brought up Alice, Sweet Alice. This is another one that he mentioned many of times that this was an inspiration for him, like Matt said, and that's one of the reasons I watched it, and now I've rewatched it many times, and yeah, I love this film. It also has a little giallo flair to it as well, not really in the style, but in the killer's look, all dressed in black and always wearing black gloves, so very much a trope of giallo films. So it works in that route as well.
I have not seen this yet. I've been meaning to, and again, another movie that is going to shoot up on my watch list now. So very cool. Pieces at number 1. Wow, guys, this list is a very good list. This is probably the best list I think that's been curated on the show.
I think this is. I have to agree with that. I think this is the best list that we've ever come up with.
Like, if I'm looking at any of the lists that we've made, and what I mean by this is, out of all the lists that we've made, this is the one that I would just love to actually watch, just straight through.
Yeah, I'm looking back through our list here just to see, but I don't know if anything else would touch it.
No.
You guys want to discuss your discards really quickly? Matt, what were some of the ones that you had that just did not make it?
Okay, I'd like to start off with The Prowler.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The Prowler is good. The effects are great. Tom Savini says it's probably his favorite movie he's ever worked on. The story is not too, is okay. I think the middle and then a little bit towards the end, it does get kind of boring. A little bit.
Long for a slasher.
Yeah, that was one I was debating playing, but that we had the burning on here. I feel better that the Prowler just didn't make the list, didn't make the cut quite.
And it's not bad. I don't.
No.
At all.
It's a good movie.
Let's see. Another one I had on that I watched right after the burning was a little movie called Nightmare.
Okay.
It's just about a. It's about they actually focus a lot on the killer's story, not necessarily the people that he's killing.
Yeah, this one is super low budget and it's a little slow, but man, the last 20 minutes are incredibly creepy and scary.
Yeah.
So I'd say if you can get through that first hour, definitely give this a shot because the last 20 minutes are something else.
Oh yeah. And then the other one I had on here that I was thinking of putting on, but I'm not sure if I'd necessarily consider it a slasher because I don't recall them being that many killings in it. Was Motel Hell.
Okay.
I don't think there really was any killings in that one that I can remember. It's kind of a little take on Sweeney Todd.
Oh really?
Kind of on a farm family a family of farmers that decides they're making their own meats.
Yeah. I thought of Motel Hell too, but I think that it falls again. I think cannibal movies is kind of its own genre that would fall under.
But the ending dueling chainsaw scene at the end of that movie, best final scene of a horror movie I think I've ever seen.
Wow.
It's awesome. It's great. The light, just everything about it. And then the last one I had on here that the reason I didn't put it on here because I think it just took a while to get into it and kind of rewatching it to understand it is a movie called The Slayer. Yeah, and it's about this girl who has these like a workaholic artist who starts having these nightmares because she had something happen to her as a kid. And at the beginning of it, there's actually a short scene of a monster. This is kind of like more of like a dream-esque kind of movie. It was made in '82, so before Nightmare on Elm Street.
Interesting. I've never heard of it, so I'll have to add that to my list.
So you're not sure if she's the killer or this person or thing that she's imagining killing these people is actually doing it. So by the end of the movie, she's trying to stay awake. She's afraid of what happened. This was made in '82.
Okay. I'm going to have to add this to my list.
It's not bad. Watch it a few times first, then it kind of kicks in.
Sure.
There's a lot of interpretation to it.
Casey, what are your discards?
Some of my discards that just missed the cut. I'll bring up the two that I was thinking of for the home invasion ones, just so we could have maybe some newer ones on the list. You're Next and Hush, but both of those are definitely home invasion movies, though.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Those. I don't think I'd consider Hush a slasher. And Your Next is, I don't know, very close to not being a slasher as well.
Yeah,
From my eyes.
I wanted to mention those just so we had some modern movies on here.
Yeah,
because after the year, I think Blood Rage is our newest one, and that was '87.
Blood Rage is the newest at '87, and Alice Sweet Alice in '76 is the oldest. So yeah, you guys definitely hit a specific decade of movies, but that's kind of we kind of expected that, didn't we?
Yeah, definitely.
So
I got a couple that I want to mention on here. Just two of them because I think they will fill Blake's fancy for both of these movies.
You don't have to take care of me. You don't have to. Do that.
We got to mention them because they were definitely in contention. The first one, Intruder.
Yes, I do love Intruder.
Yeah, from that would have been our oldest one, '89. Directed by Scott Spiegel, good friend of Sam Raimi, who is also in the film as well. This movie's a lot of fun. If you have ever worked retail, this is, and you're a horror fan, this is an idea that has definitely come into your mind as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one, Death Valley. This one just recently came on my radar because of Blake had mentioned it, and I believe I think it was probably the same day that I had heard this on the Shockwaves podcast as well, that they were gushing about it.
I do want to say that I told you to watch it, not to play it, just the fact that I do love Death Valley. It holds a special place in my heart. I don't know why. It's a nice little fun movie. And those who frequent listeners know that I am a huge Stephen McHattie fan, and he is very good in this movie. So yeah,
if you haven't seen it, this is the first thing I noticed. Stacked cast, like Blake said, Stephen McHattie, Wilford Brimley is in this movie. Catherine Hicks is in it. Peter Billingsley, the kid from A Christmas Story, is the main character in the movie, which is a lot of fun.
Isn't the guy from Lost Boys in it too?
Edward Herman's in this movie too.
Yeah.
It's a stacked cast for a movie that is pretty much, unfortunately, it's forgotten. The only way I found it online, like even to rent it, besides buying the Blu-ray that just came out not too long ago from Shout Factory, I think, I found a version of it on YouTube. Wasn't the best version, but the audio was fine, so that worked for me.
Right. Yep, I do love Death Valley. I kind of figured it wasn't going to get played. No big deal. We got to talk about it. All right.
If it was a top 10 list, I think I might have played it.
I'm okay with that. I'm going to read out the list one more time, and then we'll do our pleasantries. Top 8.
Also, my phone's at 1%, so I'll probably have to say bye.
Okay, in case it does die, Matt, thanks for participating in this. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was awesome. I'm glad nothing got.
This list rules. Number 8 on the killer countdown, best slashers with no remakes or sequels, is Madman. At number 7 is Bloody Birthday. At number 6 is Blood Rage. At number 5 is The Mutilator. Number 4 is Chopping Mall. Number 3 is Alice Sweet Alice. Number 2 is The Burning. And number 1, we have Pieces, which, if you think about it, at the end of the slasher, that's what we have left. So it's the perfect number 1. All right.
The perfect puzzle that we have put together for this topic.
All right. Do you guys want to share some social media information? Where can we find everyone at on the gram or Facebook or wherever you live?
Well, yeah, just on I'm usually just on Facebook, and I'm also on Letterboxd if you have it as well, so you can see reviews and whatnot. But
what's your Letterboxd name?
It should just be my name, Matt Petty, on there.
Matt Petty. Okay.
Yep.
Casey?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Casey_the horror guy, doing reviews of every horror movie I watch. So that's been quite the task lately to do all those. And right now I'm making my way through the Tim Burton filmography, because we'll be doing a Tim Burton episode in the near future. So that is definitely on the docket for us to do on the Killer Countdown.
Boy, am I looking forward to that one.
No sarcasm in your voice at all.
All right. You can find me at I'm not gonna lie, I just forgot my Instagram name. Midwest Cinephile. I am trying to review every movie I watch. I might scale it back just to the ones I care about reviewing. I'm on Facebook at Blake Ginithan. Send me a friend request, and I might accept it. If you want to talk movies with us, all 3 of us are involved in the South Dakota Film Community Group on Facebook. Yeah. Please join us. Instigate conversation. Join in on conversation. We do our best to post at least one new question or birthday think piece per day. You can find all of our podcasts, including the main Backlot 605 podcast, on any of your podcast listening locations of choice, Stitcher, YouTube, Apple, Google, whatever else there is. I'm not even sure what there is
Spotify.
Anymore. Spotify, yes, we're on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
Casey and Matt, this was a lot of fun. This list rules. I'm glad I had no pressure to partake in this. You guys did a better job than I ever would. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, no problem.
All
yes,
right.
Thank you guys for joining us on this weird time that we're in. This was a lot of fun. Yeah. I really mean it. This is probably the best list we've ever done. Me and Matt have very similar tastes when it comes to slasher movies, which is awesome.
It looks like it. Yeah, so it's either a very bad list or a very good list. So
we think it's very good.
Quick note, I just hope everyone out there is being safe and that you're not being severely affected by what's happening. We will get back into the studio and do this live at some point. But I just want to thank everyone for listening for the Killer Countdown. I can't think of an ending. Thank you for listening.